super excited to say that this week's video is sponsored by Bright Cellars. They are a monthly wine subscription box that sends you wines based on your taste. You take a 7-question quiz. It has things like what kind of candy do you like, what kind of wines do you typically drink, are you a red or a white, are you adventurous, do you like to stick to what you're used to? And then they send you 6 wines based on those tastes. Each wine comes with a card. It has the label on it, and then on the back it's got where the wine is from, the alcohol content, the tasting notes.
So I'm really excited to work with Bright Cellar, guys, because I know nothing about wine, and they will basically teach you how it all works, what flavors you do and don't like, and based on how you fill out your questionnaires after you get your bottles, what wines you do and you do not like, they'll cater your taste to you. So, you know, they're teaching me about wine, and since we now have this beautiful fancy house, I might as well start living a little fancier, I suppose. And Bright Cellars is really helping us do that. And hopefully when we have a dinner party and you're invited, you can come and be impressed with our wine knowledge. So go ahead and make sure to check out the link in the description, guys, to get 50% off your first 6-bottle box. So thank you, Bright Cellars, and back to the show. Hello everybody and welcome back. Let's go ahead and get to the window because I know that's the cliffhanger I left you guys on last week. So let's have a look at that, shall we? Let's start here with the curly pine panel. You can see the crack running through it, but I feel it's gonna be all right. I don't think it's too out of place the way it looks. Of course, it's gonna be behind the radiator, so this is the one I can get wrong if I get one wrong. Overall, I still think it's really beautiful though. It's kind of hard to see right now, but I'll insert some footage to show you guys just how holographic this piece of wood is. It's really, really amazing. So yes, quite happy with how that turned out. And then of course the window itself, the wood color is just beautiful and actually not very off from the mahogany, which I thought this might be a little darker. No, it actually turned out pretty good. You see some of the light coming through up there. And it bounces light amazing. As you can see in that little bit right there. And just like the maid stair, the feel of this stuff, like the wax just gives it such a really nice, smooth, almost soft feel to it. I don't know, it's not obviously soft, it's wood, but I don't know, it feels soft. It feels really nice to the touch. Of course, as you guys can see little bits kind of here and there, we do have some tiny little baby staple holes, and that is the rest of that problem. Is I'm still gonna always have these tiny little holes from when they ran so many staples into this thing. But you know, again, that's what you get with an old house like that. These pieces of wood have been through a lot, and they're looking better than they've probably looked in 100 years. So I cannot complain. I'm really, really happy with this. Can't wait to get the rest of them looking this way. Still here in the library. This is the other bit of the time lapses you guys saw. It was me taking apart this window here and removing this plaster here. Up here was a piece of drywall, and also on this wall as well there was a piece of drywall up here, which is why that's missing. You can see I've got my plaster washers back out, just trying to stop any cracks from forming or getting worse than they already are. And you can see I took a big chunk out down here as well. This, oddly enough, is about 2 inches thick of plaster. I've never seen, well, so far at least in the house, plaster that thick. So that's pretty impressive. That's going to take forever to dry. So hopefully, I'm hoping to get some, at least a base layer on this tomorrow. Got a little bit of a lucky break this week in that the fact that the weather wasn't too terribly hot, and it's not going to get too terribly hot until about Wednesday next week. So I'm hoping to eke out just a little bit of plaster and hopefully get it well on its way to dry before the weather gets too hot again and I have to stop back down. And just like with the other walls, you might be asking, why did I remove certain areas and why did I leave certain areas? Well, it's because these areas here are still stuck pretty well, where this one you could hear it ring behind it essentially. Essentially, I have a little crowbar that I carry with me quite a bit, and I just tap the plaster, and if the plaster sounds hollow behind it, it means it's no longer attached and any good. Now, of course, I could have removed little things like this, but ideally, when you're going ahead and you're floating over everything, I know that that's exactly where the wall's supposed to be. So it's like a gauge, essentially. You know, don't go too thick over it, sort of thing. So I can match up with the rest of the wall. Luckily, this huge chunk right here seemed to have been in pretty good shape. A little bit around the windows, but you know, there's a lot of wood blocks in these areas, and the plaster likes to fail around these wood blocks, which every time I pull any of these molding away or the millwork, plaster always comes with it, and that's just kind of how it goes. A few things about the change on this wall. Right here and over there are 2 sconces, or what used to be gas sconces. I'm going to cut these pipes right here off and just put plaster back over them. I would love to put these back in their original position. The problem with it is I would have to run conduit on the outside of the building, and I would rather not do that. Of course, I can, go through the floor and up, but I'd have to remove a lot of brick to do that, and I'd rather have a more stable structure, because if you're wiring anything, you have to have it in a box, and that means you would have to have a pipe going to it or the wire going to it, and you can't just put the wire directly in plaster either. So it creates some problems. Basically, all the sconces that used to be on exterior walls like this will no longer be there. However, I do know that there are 2 sconces in this room, which means I'll just put the 2 sconces over on this wall. And so this wall, door right there, this wall I'm actually going to build a bookshelf anyways, and so on each side of my bookshelf, I'm going to have a sconce. So of course, yes, I know that's not being as perfectly historically accurate as I probably could be, but it's one of those things, is the time and money worth necessarily spent trying to engineer part of a brick wall so I could add a sconce? It's like, it's maybe a little bit over what I'm trying to do. Of course, if there were a way to do it, if I could use the old gas lines as conduit and maybe just remove a little bit of brick to put a new sconce in there, that would be awesome. But talking to the electrician, it doesn't seem to be a possibility. So that's a limitation I have. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, this place will still look very much so like it did when it was built. The lighting just might be in different spots slightly here and there as I have to accommodate, modern techniques in building and safety, of course, as well. So that's what has to happen with that. I'm sure you've already well noticed that there hasn't been any electrical done this week. Yeah, he's supposed to be coming by next week, and I know I've said that for the last 2 weeks. Let's hope it's true this time. Quick little aside. How awesome is that gonna look when the electrician finally does show up? Antique plate, by the way. This is one that's original to the house. So I cleaned it up. It was looking like the back here, where it's all black, you can see. It was pretty much looking like that. Now it looks like that, and you can see the camera in the reflection, which is pretty cool. So that is going to be awesome right there. Get these switches out of here. Out with the new, in with the old. Also this week, me and my father ended up taking a road trip down to Memphis. I was gonna shoot some time lapse and stuff, like road trippy stuff, but I had to wake up at 4 in the morning and I was way too tired to be using a camera. Even if I had shot anything, it probably wouldn't have been usable. I was way too tired. But we did end up finding some really amazing things. There's a really amazing architectural salvage shop down there called South Front Antiques. The owner, Eric, is an amazing guy, and the stuff he has in that store, it's 20,000 square feet of everything you could ever imagine or dream of for as far as architectural just pieces are concerned, like giant radiator covers and pieces of bars from England. And it's an amazing place. If you're ever in Memphis, I highly suggest you check it out. But bring a wallet, because you're gonna have to leave there with something. I have to go back, but I have to be careful with that place, I think, as well, because I'll spend way too much money in there. But let me show you some of the cool things I found. So the first thing here is in the maid's room. As you can see, this piece that we've got upright right here kind of looks like fretwork. It's not. It's the top of, I don't exactly know where it came from, but I'm going to be using this as the top piece of my library bookshelves, because it's about 9.5 feet tall. It's about exactly what I need my bookshelves to be, and it's really beautiful, like nice carvings, nothing too crazy, not overly carved or overly ornate, but I think it'll be perfect for that room, because that room isn't terribly, over the top ornate either. But this should give it just enough amazing, beautiful pop at the top of my bookshelf and help it blend also with the rest of the room, the fireplace included and all that. But yeah, I mean, get some shellac on this bad boy. It'll all blend, all the woodwork will look the same. I believe that this is all pine, which means it will look really, close in color at least to the rest of the stuff I got going on in there. Which means, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. This piece itself though, I'm kind of confused about it. Obviously these are raised pieces here. I don't know that that is terribly old or even belongs with this piece, because these have such tight grain everywhere and this doesn't. It could have been added, and I might take this piece off and just use that section there, which I think will be fine. But yeah, that'll be awesome for the bookshelf in the library. Second thing we got while we were in Memphis is this guy here, not the toilet seat itself. But doesn't that help? I mean, because it did have this plastic guy on it right here, right? Does that not help tie this whole piece in together? Now it looks, maybe not exactly 1890s, but at least 1900 feeling with the wooden toilet seat. And the bracket's pretty cool. You could tell it's got some age to it, and it fits perfectly. It's like they were made for each other, because I suppose they probably were. Little details. But reproductions of toilet seats like this, I've seen them for about 150 bucks, and I got this one for 65, and it's actually antique. So that's helpful, and it's in really good shape. I don't think I'll really have to do anything to it. It's got a ribbon tied around it right there, which I'm not really sure about, or why that's there, but everything else, it's essentially perfect. Nothing wrong here. Yes, it is not lost on me also that I got excited about a toilet seat, but sometimes, when you find the right piece for anything, I get somewhat excited about it. So moving on. Also for Memphis, these two little gas sconces. I'm not going to go too in depth with them. They do have the little bits to hang crystal from them, but hard to find matching ones. But we've talked so much about lighting recently, we'll leave that at that. Now these two items here were not actually from the South Front Antique Shop. These were the reason we were in Memphis at all anyways, because these were a Facebook Marketplace find. But this one in particular, I think is going to be a perfect medicine cabinet for our bathroom. And it has some few little, weird features to it. This, I think I want to replace, or I think there's a process with silver that you can turn something like this into a mirror. I'll have to look into that, but I think I would like that to be a mirror, and then that way you'd have your, toothbrushes and stuff like that in there. But, beautiful box for that. It'd be perfect, right? But weird feature about this guy is these weird serial numbers. I've never seen anything punched into them like that, and there's a few of them here and there, and they're not the same number. Here's a little baby one right here. You can kind of see. So odd there, but stylistically, this should be perfect for the bathroom. Now if I can just find a very small corner marble sink, and we'll be set for everything I need there in that bathroom on the second floor. And then of course I have this other one here. I don't know exactly where this goes yet. Underneath there's two of these little brackets, and they would have like held a towel or something, I guess. Maybe this would be really rad in the kitchen. It does have a little bit of damage up here. Some of the ornamentation at the top here has moved off, and it's flaky and not great. So I'm not going to touch it very much. That one's missing quite a bit over there. And then there's the initials here, which if I can make that out, was it a C-O? MCO, I think. I don't know, you guys have to let me know. I think I'm seeing an MLCO, MLCO or something. But, so that's pretty cool. Definitely a really nice, I don't know if it's a logo, but you know what I'm saying, it looks pretty cool. And as if I needed more proof to know that I have the best YouTube audience of anybody ever, I received this painting, which is actually from 1886 there, as you can see. It's this beautiful little landscape, just so cool. So thank you so much to Ellie and her husband for that. Like, I opened the P.O. box. I just expected letters, guys. You don't have to say anything so fancy, but I really do appreciate it. And for sure, it will find a place in my home. It's awesome. And then a little watercolor that was sent in by Jackie, which is really cool as well. You guys know I'm an artist, so anytime I get art, I mean, yeah, I'm into it. I love it. And so yes, this will definitely find a place somewhere here as well. So thank you guys so much. And I've got a few really sweet letters as well. And I love hearing your guys' stories. I know I don't always have the time to reply to everything, but I always try to read everything. So hearing your guys' stories is awesome and encouraging. And hey, it's cool to know that so many of you guys are trying to tackle houses like this as well. So, good on you guys. Really, really cool. Also here outside of the house, I have these two nifty new pieces that I just acquired. This base here, which I believe is to a light pole, I actually got for free. Not a subscriber or anything. I was just told by a contractor buddy I know that it was sitting out back behind a house and they were going to toss it. So I rescued this beautifully, well, I wouldn't say carved, casted piece here. And then I found the rest or another pole at Refab. So, not perfectly matching in style, but close enough. And then I just need to find a lamp for the top and then put it in the front yard. Somewhere on the fence line, maybe right there or something. That way I don't block any of the beautiful house. But yeah, it wasn't something I was planning on acquiring, but sometimes you find the free piece and now you have to get the rest of it to go with it. And I also have this stand here, and it goes to this lovely minecart shaped, I mean, of course, I'm sure there's a different name for it, but it looks like a minecart to me, shaped soapstone sink, if I can speak. You can see the drain there. And the cool part about this one is it's stamped with a company name for where it was from. And of course, anything that says St. Louis on it to me is always worthwhile, because I love my city, and I'm happy to put anything that has St. Louis back into the house, because it's where we are. It speaks to more of the history as well. And of course, the reason this is sitting out here is because if you ever moved a soapstone sink, they're very, very heavy. And so I do need a few of the cousins to come in, the football playing cousins, and help me move it down here to my back door and get into the basement. It's going to be a washroom sink. Now on to the most absolutely brilliant thing that I was able to acquire this week. And I'm really excited about this one because I've seen plenty of photos of these things, but I've never actually seen one in person, let alone used one. This is a needle shower. So what is a needle shower? Now, of course, you can see it's got a normal shower head, or normal enough shower head. It has the three little, on-offs there. And it has these two little funny sides on it. Of course, it looks extremely short because it's sitting on the ground and it's supposed to be mounted on a wall to each side. But the valves here, this is where things get a little bit interesting. Because, of course, up here, you have your shower knob. You have your hot and your cold. So hot here, cold there. And then you have this fourth one down here called needle. And essentially what happens here is when you turn this on, and I suppose you probably have the shower knob off for pressure reasons, the water gets diverted down to these two pipes here and splits. And then it comes out through these guys and then splits again down each of these tubes. And in these tubes on the side, you can see there are little pinholes, like that one there, that one there, that one there, all the way down both sides. Essentially the water comes spraying out through there and kind of gives you a full body, if you will, spray of these little needle, hence the name, jets of water coming out. And these were, well, they were for really, really wealthy families. They were almost seen as a more therapeutic, a more therapeutic style of bathing than they were like really for hygienic reasons. This was more of a medical device almost. But they're really cool, and I don't see a lot of them come up for sale, and they're usually ridiculously expensive, way out of budget for me. But my father found this one on eBay, and the price was right, and so I'm really excited to be able to put this back up because what a cool, unique piece of history. To me, guys, these sort of pieces, like the needle shower, are really important to me because, yeah, you can go to a house museum and you might find one, right? And you'll be like, oh, that's cool, I wonder how it worked, or I wonder how it felt. With something like this, I can bring it here and allow not only myself to have that opportunity to know what it was like to have one of these goofy showers, you know, but offer that opportunity to whoever comes and stays as well, you know, like that should be something. If you do come and stay here, definitely check out the needle shower, try it, you know, because where else in the world could you have that opportunity? I mean, it's got to be afforded to a very small amount of people who are, well, alive today at least, who have probably been able to use one of these. You know, maybe one out of all 100 and whatever thousand of you at this point have tried one, or maybe a few more, I don't know. But simply put, the mass amount of people, or most people, have never been able to experience something like this, and to be able to give people that opportunity, I think is really cool. And as far as timelines are concerned, guys, I do think this is a little late for my house. This is probably somewhere around 1900, maybe a little later than that even. However, the reason I think this will work is because A, it's not going on the second floor bathroom, which is the only original bathroom in the house, but it's going on the first floor bathroom, which used to be the butler's pantry and was added in the 19-teens. So this could have theoretically been something they'd be put in there. And this is the bathroom here that I'm actually talking about, guys. So we have the dining room there, side door, and kitchen right here. If it'll focus, there you go. And here is the bathroom. So this is a very, very small little bathroom. We have a cute little sink here, which is the only piece of this bathroom that will be staying. Toilet, but the toilet will move closer that way, and we'll put one of the older ones in here because I think it will look nicer. We have this obnoxious stack which will actually fit in the wall, or at least I am told it could fit in the wall because we're going to be taking the cast iron out and putting a 3-inch in, which should fit in the wall comfortably. And then I'm gonna put that shower right here and get rid of this bathtub, which, yeah, I know it's a fairly cool bathtub, but for bathtubs are kind of dime a dozen. If you have an opportunity to do something like the needle shower, I think that's more, well, at least, I guess let's just face it, guys, it's way cooler. And I am going to have to try to find a home for all of this cool stuff here because you have, you know, really nice handles and cool little built-in bits. And then I don't actually know the name of this stuff. I know it's from the teens, 20s as well. And I have a lot of it in here, and it is going to be coming off the walls. And I don't want to break it as I do it. So I hope to find a nice, good home for this as well. And no, this wouldn't be a money-making sort of thing. So many people have given me so many things, I would prefer to just give it out to somebody who really needs it. So if you need some of whatever this particular style of tile is called, let me know. I'll send it to you. Few last things before I am going to sign off. I did make some new shirt designs. They have the house on the back of them, their hoodies. I do have some t-shirt designs coming in the works at some point here soon as well. So if you guys want to go check those out. Of course, it does help my channel, or not help my channel, it does help the progress of the house. Of course, never feel obligated to buy, purchase, or do anything for me. You know, I just like the fact that you guys like the channel. That's the biggest present to me. But of course, if I do sell more shirts, maybe I can get a bit more plumbing. But again, never feel obligated. Thank you guys so much. As always, I am consistently impressed about how wonderful you guys have all been and just how awesome the channel goes. And yeah, this little experiment, I'm glad I tried it. It's led to some amazing things, finding tile, hearing stories. I've even gotten rumblings recently for some comments that maybe somebody found my mantles. And who knows, guys? Who knows where this whole channel leads? But so far, I have to say, you guys have made the journey an absolute pleasure. So for that, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and we'll see you guys again next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. We'll see about maybe getting a Thursday video out for you guys this week. And yeah, take care. And yeah, be well.